Didn't it have an exclamation point? Wasn't it like, yo, MTV Raps? Yo was a full sentence. Rip MTV. It was a reference for dead people, so don't worry about it. Explanation point. Explanation point. I just enjoyed explanation point. I want to know what that looks like. I want to know how to use it. You drop one of those and people know they're getting an explanation. You see that explanation point, you know you're about to be mansplained. Oh. Yeah, I had a damn day. Suffice to say. I needed to put some additional time in on the project. Yes. Are boomers making 50s references in movies? What are we referring to? Give me an example. Because boomers, their childhoods would have been in the 50s and 60s. I don't know when the cutoff is. Da boomers. 1946 to 1964. Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do with a reboot like that, right? I guess they chose not to modernize it. And I mean, I guess they must be trying to sell it to the same target demographic, right? I don't really know. I guess it would have been boomers who were into the Wonder Years. What's funny is when I try to say the Wonder Years, my brain is like Boy Meets World. Not the same thing. It was about black people, and that is modern. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know nothing. I don't know anything about nothing. Were those both sitcoms headed up by a Savage brother? What the fuck? I never made that connection before. Is it Fred and Ben? What am I thinking of? Yeah, they're basically like clones of each other. So Fred was Wonder Years and Ben was Boy Meets World. And Fred was in Princess Bride. You love him. I hate to tell you this, but like for some reason, and I don't have any specific reason to believe this, but when I think of either of them, I have this sort of like I just assume that they're shitheads, that they give off shithead vibes. I don't know why. I can't think of an example of the any either of them ever being a shithead, but I mean it's probably likely. Yeah, I don't know why this Wonder Years reboot is set in the 50s. I can only guess that they're just targeting an older demographic still. Oh, you meant Duel. Oh, sorry. Is it Dule or Duel? Duel doesn't sound like a name, so it must be Dule. It's not a name I've ever heard or read before, so it's Dule. Or are you just making fun of me? It has a thingy, an accent. I'm just not familiar with the actor. I don't really fucking watch anything. Th- Thanks, Sith. Thank you. I still have to watch. Um, I feel like I have to watch Severance because people didn't shut the fuck up about it ever. And then the other one that people won't shut the fuck up about is White Lotus, the first post woke show. They had a Twin Peaks episode, huh? You have my attention. Without IRL violence? What the fuck? I have to tell you, I know nothing about either show. Actually, that's not true. I did have the presumably, I don't know, it's probably not the twist. No, it's not the twist, but I have like I had the concept, one of the concepts of Severance spoiled for me, which kind of annoys me. I like to go into media just knowing absolutely nothing. I want the media to tell me what it is. The only thing I know about White Lotus was that there was that goofy fucking article written about it that it was the first post woke show. That's all I know. And that people fucking keep talking about it. Yeah, the Atlantic.
The White Lotus is the first great post woke piece of art. Mike White's show wears its morality lightly. By Helen Lewis. The White Lotus repudiates the peak woke era of the late 2010s, which yielded safe, self congratulatory, didactic art, obsessed with identity and language, that taught pet moral lessons in an eat your greens tone.
I hate this fucking world that we live in. Flames on the side of my face. Possibly the best line read in Clue. I don't even know what you're saying by the time I get to the end of that sentence, Pubs. It just becomes gibberish to me. Tom Walker, yep, keeps talking like Parker Posey, because of White Lotus, yes, which is like the inverse of everyone say nah like Bluey. What? I don't even know what you said. Oh, is it like is Bluey an Australian show or a New Zealand show? So is it like now, now, oh now? The New Zealand accent is the best English accent, by the way. I love listening to Kiwis talk. I'll give Scottish an honorary mention, but only if it's Scottish Scottish. Like Scottish talking to Scottish Scottish. Where no other English listener can participate or understand. Oh, train spotting. It's depressing, man. It's so depressing. I don't know. It's funny, but ugh. I have to start a Frowners Club and watch Train Spotting and Requiem for a Dream double feature. And Frowners Club has a countdown in terms of members. We call them survivors. That's a bad fucking night. Watch Train Spotting into Requiem for a Dream. Just annihilate your brain. Requiem for a Dream is kind of annoying because it's like you when you're watching it, you have the sense that you are you're having a film as art experience. You can tell that it's like serious art film, but you're also having your psyche whittled away at until there's nothing left because it's so fucking depressing and painful to watch. I like things that like I like stories that venture into territory of, there's no happy ending and stuff like that. Stuff that makes you feel things. But that movie maybe makes you feel too much. It's just like you when I watched it, I just felt this like infinite desperation, I guess. I'm not really sure. It's just like the empathetic response to what you're like watching or what I was watching is just I just feel like this bottomless despair. What's funny is I think that's the only film from that director that I watched and enjoyed. I forget his fucking name. It's a bunch of letters. I tried the other films like Pi. Um, Actually, that's the only one I can remember trying. I didn't get into Pi. People really talk it up, but it just didn't. I don't recall it doing much for me. 5 years ago, Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, Aronofsky, Darren Aronofsky. I didn't realize that you guys would get so into the club. I mean, it's definitely a subset. Not everybody shows for the club, but those of you who are into the club are way into the club. We love a club. Into club. You hate movies. Is this a true statement, Flynn? If so, then this is interesting and I'd like to pry further. Mostly tour. Like this is just interesting to me. Like I can understand not being into movies like to a degree, but like what is like if you hate movies entirely, what is it about them that you dislike? Their rectangular shape? Too long and too predictable. Hmm. But if you hate movies and therefore don't watch movies, are you saying that you're like a story savant? You just know where all stories go. I mean, I guess that's the hero's journey. There's I am with you on the fact that like yeah, I mean there's definitely a certain amount of pretty easy predictability to a lot of films and stuff. And for some stuff for me that's a deal breaker too, yeah. Like gosh, what comes to mind? The new Star Wars films, which I've mentioned before. I just I don't like them. I don't give a fuck about any of the new Star Wars stuff that they've done. But I did try to give it a chance, and I went and saw the what would it have been? Episode 7, I guess. The first of the new Star Wars stuff when that came out, I went and saw, and definitely one of the things that I would say about it was that it was like ultra predictable. It was predictable. It was cloying, pandering, and bad. And I didn't go for any of the other new Star Wars shit after that. Other than Mandalorian, I watched Nakomi and I enjoyed like the first season. I don't know that we even saw the second season. I don't know. I guess for myself, I don't think endings are that hard to guess, but that doesn't really ruin it. Like all stories end, and there's only so many ways they can end. So I'm just trying to like wrap my head around why that doesn't bother me that much, or how do I get around that to where I can enjoy anything. Um, and I don't know. Like a lot of people fucking hate the shit out of the MCU movies, and I totally get it. I understand because they really shit those out, and they're also very formulaic. And also, I have not been into it after Endgame, by the way. But during the sort of ride up to Endgame, I don't know. They're just sort of like junk food movies to me, and I just didn't really think about it that much. I just watched them, and some of them were more enjoyable than others. But I didn't ultra hate them the way that some people did while it was still kind of on its way up. At this point, I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't have even tried to continue after Endgame. They did something unique building up to that, and then they probably should have just stopped there. But at any rate, like I brought that up as an example because those are like the most sort of formulaic kind of thing that I could think of that I enjoyed watching. But I wouldn't say I loved any of it at all. I just sort of like, this is, I like following it along. I know where things are going here and there. But then again, I don't guess every twist or every ending and everything. So maybe if you're cursed with clairvoyance or prognostication, perhaps nothing is enjoyable. What's funny is when I try to think of like what is my favorite media outside of video games that I enjoyed in the past couple of years. The only thing that really comes to mind is actually two anime, Frieren and Dungeon Meshi. I'm really persnickety about anime. I feel like anime is just chock full of slop, and I can't get into most of it. I only can really get into things that are pretty unusually exceptional. And for me, that was Frieren and Dungeon Meshi. I have seen that Magic the Gathering is doing a Final Fantasy set, but I'm not really a Magic guy. We almost were gonna watch Dan 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 or whatever it's called, but unfortunately, we checked out the trailer and of course there was a scene with a girl getting all of her clothes blown off, and it's like we basically have taken to avoiding any uh any anime that does that. It doesn't have to be normal stuff. Dungeon Meshi doesn't have that problem. I don't think Frieren has that problem. But God, there's a lot of anime where like it's harder to find an anime that doesn't at some point needlessly feature a an underage girl in her underwear than it is to find one that doesn't have that. And I have to tell you, I'm just kind of sick of it. It was one of those things where it's like, you know, you just kind of roll your eyes and whatever, move on. Like, hopefully, the rest of the show is worth watching or whatever. But after enough time, it's like, you know, I'm just not gonna watch. I'm just not gonna watch that. There was one that we tried that seemed like it would have just been a cute anime that it was about like board games or whatever. And in like the second fucking episode, there was this needless scene where I guess a girl was like riding her bicycle and it rained. So they had to have this scene that didn't have anything really to do with the story, where she had went under a bridge to take cover and then stripped down to her underwear. It's like, why is this in here? What what is the purpose of this scene? It doesn't connect to the story at all. It wasn't like something that had something to do with the plot. It was just needlessly there, and it just feels like this fucking gratuitous thing that they all do. So you can't even like try an anime without it being a minefield of that stuff. All the anime people became very quiet all of a sudden. Man, that one scene in Frieren also that fucking blew my mind. It was just so unexpected. You watched the same two that I did, and that was it. Yeah. I don't want to say it because it's a major spoiler. But if you know, you know, basically. I'm just saying if you know what scene I'm talking about, it was really fucking mind-blowing. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Shenanigans started to occur. I had to intervene. I had to get involved. You're doing like one Fearin episode every month? God damn. You're really stretching it out. I can't wait for the next season of Dungeon Meshi. I feel like that's one of my favorite anime in the past decade, to be honest. It just has a lot of like unique creativity to it, and it's got just good vibes, you know? It's it's very unusual, you know? It's not on the beaten path. The beaten path that contains 1 million isekai. A boulder fell on me, and now I'm a vending machine in a dungeon. Or a boulder fell on me, and now I'm stuck in an MMO. I know, but I didn't want to. I knew if I said truck, everyone was going to start saying truck sama, and I was just going to lose my mind. I think I just like so often I when I do try to give anime a chance again and I pick something out that's popular and it's fucking bad, it just makes me like really biased against the sheer volume of crap that they pump out. Makes me have old person thoughts. I miss when my taste in anime was less refined, but also the selection of anime was more better because there wasn't as much of it. I guess that doesn't really make sense, but like it seemed like if you randomly chose one back in the day, more often than not, it would be at least pretty good. Man, I'm fucking ancient. The way that I got started watching anime was one of my friends got one of those fucking I don't know if anybody here remembers like Columbia or whatever it was called, but basically you could mail order stuff like CDs or VHS tapes and stuff like that, and then they would send them to you, and then you would pay for them or not. If you didn't want them, you send them back. Yeah, Columbia House, I think they were called. And one of my friends did that. Got a shitload of anime VHS tapes, and then copied them all, and then sent all the shit back. And then that was basically we were like copying and passing around VHS tapes, and it felt like pirate media. I guess it kind of was because we yeah we were stealing, but it was awesome. It was awesome. That was how I came across shit like That was the first way that I saw Ghost in the Shell, Akira, Dragon Ball, uh, and weird shit like fuck, what's it called? It's like Raijin Z or whatever. Anybody familiar with Raijin Z? I think that's what it's called. I never got into Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh, Rojin Z. uh, Man, we could have ancient anime movie enjoyers club nights, maybe a couple of those. This one is
Time to get warmed up.
Orange Bleak. Thank you for 18 months. This movie is by the director of Akira and Blood the Last Vampire and so forth. And the fucking premise is that these basically this company invents like uh medical beds for like taking care of the elderly that have artificial intelligence, but it goes awry. And it's insane. Oh yeah, of course it goes awry. And it's very old. It's very 90s, 80s, 90s. It's right up my alley. It's very fucking weird. But yeah, I first came across that via the old copied tapes. Also, Armitage 3, I think. What else? Your first anime was about a vampire girl? Was it a movie or a series? It was a movie. Maybe it was Blood the Last Vampire because the main character of that is a girl. And it came out 2000. It's kind of the right timeline. Is it this? Yeah, it's all right. I don't think it's amazing, but it's all right. Oh man, that old manga logo, the burning manga logo. That's crazy. Helsing. Yeah, Helsing was pretty good. Unfortunately, everything other than the first that one season of Helsing, I thought it was exceptional, but everything else Helsing that I've seen sucks ass. Sucks ass is bad. has no style, and shouldn't have been made. Only that first season is worth. Yeah, there's Hellsing Ultimate sucks. Hellsing Ultimate Abridged sucks. I haven't seen Hellsing the Dawn, probably sucks. But the original run had the right vibes. It had excellent music. Not particularly, it's not like the most amazingly well made. Ugh. They have the wrong trailer on IMDb for Hellsing. They have some sort of like, apparently there was a Hellsing where they fight Nazis? I don't even know. I think this entire IMDb entry might be wrong. The trailer is definitely wrong. Yeah, it's all Hellsing Ultimate. It's all mixed up with Hellsing Ultimate, which sucks ass. Well, I won't link to this then, but I highly recommend if you haven't seen it, watch the original. The original run from 2001. It's really different, really good music. I recommend the sub, not the dub. Uh, Evangelion is also just depressing. It's so depressing. I always appreciated Evangelion for its the way that they conveyed scale when they chose to spend some time on the art in an episode. I have not watched any of the remakes. I just assumed it's all bad. Um, Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's great. No idea. But the stuff that always comes to mind for me was when they put a lot of detail into like the military vehicles or just conveying the sense of scale of the Evangelion and the angels and so forth. Like the first thing I think of is I think it's I think it's Asuka who picks up like a battleship and it like cracks over her head and then she I don't remember if she like throws it at something or if she uses it as a shield kind of. But there's just something about that shot that I loved. I also loved the sort of weird details like remembering something where like I think they shoot like an ICBM at a angel and the angel just puts its hand up and the ICBM sort of shreds apart in its hand and then explodes and just details like that really are really the things that I look at when I'm watching Evangelion. I think that's partly why I avoided the remakes because I think what I saw from them here and there, I felt like it looked like very post processed or something, or just whatever. It just didn't have the visual vibe anymore, which for me is important. I might be wrong. What is it called? Evangelion 1.0? That's the first remake. Yeah, it looks all like I don't know. When I look at screens from it, something bothers me. I can't put my finger on it. That's a great question, Pubs. Everyone wants to know the answer. Everyone wants to know the answer to that. What an upsetting thing. That is in Evangelion though, and yeesh. What's funny is that I don't find it awful that they included that. It speaks to Shinji being a kind of fucking weird, just fucking weirdo. He's just a weirdo. He's an emotionally fucked up, lost kid. But it doesn't maybe need to go that far. I used to call it Evangelion. I didn't make the connection between evangelist and Evangelion. I just didn't understand. I didn't connect those dots, so I call it Evangelion or Evangelion. It's okay. Most of the time, we just call it Eva or Neon Genesis because that's the full stupid name. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Oh, does it have nothing to do with evangelism, evangelist? I mean, it has like these really strong religious overtones, so I thought that was just the reason. I don't know what Wangelion is. Oh, that's where evangelist comes from? I didn't know this at all. Oh, it means good news in Greek. Okay, we've made it full circle. To be clear, I understood it was about religion. I'm just saying I didn't make the word connection for some reason. Good news to everyone. And it is the worst news you've ever received. Alrighty, well, I gotta get out of here, folks. But thanks for showing up for this late and delayed check-in stream. I appreciate you. And I will see y'all tomorrow, hopefully at our usual broadcast time. We'll see what happens. It might be a nightmare week for me, but anyway, have a good night.